Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today I'm here to talk a little bit about myself and why this channel exists. I figured kind of the best way to go through this is to just start by breaking down the name of the channel. The first word is fearless, and that doesn't mean that you don't care. In fact, it means you care a lot and you're willing to take risks to put yourself out there with your music or your videos or your commentary, or whatever it is that you have to offer the public. And so I feel like I need to explain why I feel the need to do this. I'm 50 years old. I've been playing music as far as paying gigs and like professionally ever since the late 80s. Some of my first projects, were in high school. After high school, I went on to play coffee shops and do those sorts of things. And then full bands, of course, and all that. The fearlessness is in having the confidence to go ahead and put yourself out there. You do have to have a certain amount of, okay, I am good enough. I have practiced enough. If you're a songwriter, you get to the point where it's like, okay, I can put together a song that makes sense. It sounds good. And it has to sound good to you. It has to sound good from your perspective and express what you want to express. Trying to cater to audiences is not what I'm about. It's not what this channel is about. It's about taking risks. It's about going outside of the conventional norms of, oh, I'm a blues player, or I'm a country player, or I'm this, or I'm that, and just being expressive in a way that comes naturally. And that does require being fearless to a certain extent. You have to be willing to just do it and accept the consequences. Accept the consequences that you may not be incredibly successful, accept the consequences that you will fail sometimes. And you just have to go out there and do it. If you feel that need to express yourself and to share it with others, you can't ignore it. And so the first big step off the cliff is to just do it, to take the chance. And so that's where the fearless idea comes from for this channel. It goes to everything. Nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, oh, I know how to do everything. You're going to have to learn. I had to learn how to do, set up video stuff to do this, which I'd never done in this format before. And I was scared. And then I was like, okay, well, I've got to figure this out. And then piece by piece, you just kind of have to put it all together. It's the same with self-recording, which has become so much easier these days. And with art, just anything that you want to do, you have to have a sense of fearlessness, but not carelessness and not just like, oh, I don't give a about anything. There should be intentionality and there should be passion behind it as well, because you either really want to do it or you don't. And if you have the idea that you want to do it, that means you're there. You're ready to take that leap. Which leads into the next thing, which is the DIY, do it yourself. I have recorded 2 albums in my life that had lots of external things involved in them. One was a project I did when I first moved to Portland in the mid-90s. I recorded at a studio there to get, basically a product out so that I could sell it at gigs and get gigs with said product. Went into a little studio, did what they told me to do, and paid them, and the results were okay. I mean, considering it was a low entry point as far as the money that was involved was concerned, I was fine with that. I wasn't necessarily happy with the process and some of the things I was asked to do, but pulled it off. So that was fine. Up to that point, I'd already put out, at least 5 full-length kind of project things, just using the, classic early 90s, 4-track recorder an SM57, and just figuring it out. And so from the start, I've been kind of a DIY person, just due to the fact that I didn't have like huge industry connections and I didn't have unlimited resources. So using what's at hand is what I'm all about and what I've always been all about. Like a lot of the equipment I'm using right here is repurposed from my old analog studio. The camera that I'm using, the DSLR that I'm using is my wife's old camera, and just finding things at hand to put things together. I'm all about that. The DIY thing, perhaps my biggest involvement in just taking over everything myself is with my guitars. I have a fairly extensive guitar collection because over the years what happened was is I'd be performing and a guitar would just, I'd break it and then I would just go buy another one to replace it. And after a while, you just kind of accumulate all these. I accumulated a lot of instruments that were non-functional to a certain extent, up until fairly recently. And so over the years, what I learned is I learned how to fix them. And I learned how to modify them. And I did that by necessity, because I couldn't afford to go to a luthier every, month, because my shows back in the day were fairly rough as far as how I treated my instruments and the nature of the performance itself. So I was just spending money that I didn't have. So I learned how to fix the things myself, and to modify them or get them to hold together in a way that could withstand my abuse. Thankfully, I no longer play live like that. I no longer play live at all, really. And but learning all of that on my own and being able to repair led to the point where I could, build a guitar from scratch over time, just accumulating a skill set. And it's the same with home recording. My recording studio over the years has grown. I had a full analog studio for many, many years. Now I'm in the digital realm, which is much easier to navigate. And thankfully, for those of you who are starting out or know nothing but digital recording, it's a heck of a lot easier than the stuff that I had to navigate when I was trying to go through, 10 miles of cables in a tiny room, figuring out what was working and what wasn't working. But all of that was invaluable in learning how to do it myself. So, that's a big part of what this entire channel is. It's about overcoming your fear and then being okay with doing it yourself. You're going to make mistakes. Things aren't going to work out. So many of my guitars, just to mention guitars again, are still works in progress. I mean, it just, you don't always get it nailed down from the get-go. And you have to be okay with that as well. And then that brings me to music. So, the primary focus of this channel is I'm not out to, show people how to build a channel or how to record stuff exclusively for like YouTube or something like that. I'm more interested in people putting together music. And that, being a home recorder from 4-track to full analog to digital now, I feel like over the past 30 years, I've learned a lot about how to record music, do it in a way that is pleasing and unique to whatever your particular sound is and your skill set is. So I'm hoping that over the course of this channel, we'll be delving into all these various aspects of music, from songwriting to, how to practice, to finding new things, especially if you're guitar centric. It's real easy to get into ruts and go, oh, well, it's all been played before. That's quite simply not true. You always find something that you can put your unique stamp on, and that's yours, and that's worth sharing. And that's the ethos of the channel. It's my ethos, and my philosophy is that if you are passionate and you have an idea, it's worth pursuing and worth putting out there for others to hopefully enjoy. And you have to be okay with, perhaps not very many people enjoying it. That's just the nature of the beast. You can't choose what the public will like. And but trying to cater to the public is going to be even more failure, because then you're not being true to yourself. So anyway, I hope that this clarifies a little bit about who I am, what I'm about. I'm very interested in always learning, growing, finding new things in the old. And it's just a great journey that we're all on. And we have the opportunity, while being alive, to try things and to be a creative. So that's what Fearless DIY Music is all about. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you watch all the other videos on the channel and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed it. All right. Thank you so much for your time and making it to the end of the video. Take care.